Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Wicked Jelly here. So I have it set up for Chronicles of Drunagor. So I'm actually gonna start doing a playthrough, or at least begin to do one. I know it's been a while. Sorry, school's been kind of rough. Been having a lot going on there, but I had some free time, so I did want to give it a shot here and at least do the beginning adventure. It's the game's kind of nice. It starts off with the first adventure, since it's the first one, obviously being kind of on the simpler side, but they even open it up with a separate tutorial that literally takes you through step by step how to do the first adventure, so that way you have a better understanding of how to play the game. So I'm going to be doing that. It's a separate little booklet that actually comes with the game set, so that's kind of nice. So I already have everything kind of set up and raring to go. I got my trusty little map here with the first beginning area set up. I got my trusty little Vorn. He's going to be the guy that I'm going to play. That's the one they suggest starting with. I kind of want to play with him anyways because, as before, I read in the storyline. Oh my gosh, I don't get these angles at all. um, I enjoy his story. I think his story, you got to root for this guy considering everything he's been through. Then again, I guess putting him through all this might not be the nicest thing to do either. But hey, someone's got to be a hero. The hero of Drunagor. But, anyways, so I kind of set things up, kind of got it ready to go. This was the first placemat area that they had you do. They have this set up, it's a door. We'll get to that later on. I did read the instruction booklet ahead of time to try and get a better understanding of that. Unfortunately, that was been a couple weeks since then, so I remember absolutely nothing. So this should be interesting. But anyways, I do have the character set up. This is your character sheet here. It has his main stats and everything. He starts off with his trusty little axe. It's the first beginner's weapon that he gets. Um, Boy, I'm never gonna get these down, am I? So that's what he starts off with, is the jagged blade axe, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, he does plate armor. He's kind of like the tanky type character. Um, so kind of makes sense if you're going to just be playing by yourself that you'd want him. You'd probably want to have him in your group regardless anyways, unless you had like maybe the cleric. I think the cleric would probably work well too. But for this beginner tutorial, it suggests using him, and it suggests using, there's different types of classes that you can use them as. You can be support, leader, striker, controller, all that good stuff. And then once you do that, there's certain cards you get depending on the role that you're going to be playing. And I would have done this anyways if I was going to be playing this character, but they recommend starting him off with a defender, which, my guy's a noob, kind of like me. So this is what you start off with. So that's the one ability, the remove curse thing that he gets. And then he also starts out with a passive ability where he gets plus 3 hit points, which is kind of nice. So, and that's what they have you set up on here. I don't need the other one. But anyways, and these are the tokens that he starts off with. It tells you that on the card that you get. I don't know if I showed these the last time or not. If I didn't, every single one of them gets a card like this. And on the other side, this is, I guess, when the darkness takes them. I don't really understand what this is about yet. But anyways, mainly speaking, um, this is what they're like as far as when they're normal, and then it tells you, of course, what tokens you use at the bottom there, or what do they call them? Action cubes. They're called action cubes. Come on, get it right, Wicked Jelly. Anyways, so that's what he starts off with. So I have that in the handy dandy spot where it's supposed to be located. Um, they do have this nice little thing down here, which would be really nice if you're having more than one character. Kind of a little pointless, I would imagine, just for me only having the one. But it is still nice that they have this. It has a slot where you can put each one of your cards in the specific role that they're going to be playing. Depending on the role, that decides what turn they go in. And then it has this as the token that, as each player goes, you'd put it on there. So I have it on mine. I don't know why I even have it on there because I'm the only person playing. But hey, now I was able to show it. So all the better. But anyways, so this is the first starting area that we have set up here. I guess a couple more things. At the top here, you'll see on here, you'll see part of it anyways, not all of it. It has the health points, hit points for your character. Normally, Vorn starts out with 12. You use one of these action cubes, the pink one, for health. So normally it would be on there. But I don't know if you remember from earlier, the defender card I had, the passive ability that I had with him was I get plus 3 hit points. So right off the bat, I get to put it on to 15 instead of the 12. So I win. Game over. Ha ha ha. Anyways, so that's pretty much the setup as far as that goes. As far as dice goes, there's not much to it. You have 2 dice. You have this one, which is what you roll for traps. I don't know if there's other times you might roll this dice or not. But basically to see, what type of trap may be set off or if a trap will be set off. I guess for chests when you open them, it's, I don't know if you have to roll it every single time, but this is something you would roll to see if you, activate a trap or whatever the case may be. There may be other times you use it as well. And then the other die, of course, is the 20-sider that you have. And I think I showed it in the unboxing. I got a bunch of them that came. I think it was part of the Kickstarter, which the other ones, I guess you could say it's kind of cool. Where the one is, it has like a skull symbol. But I don't know. I just figured I'd use this one since it was easy and the rest of it was put away. But that's pretty much the basic setup. They have skill cards here. I'm going to have to read. I'm not sure exactly which ones he starts off with. I'll have to read on there. I don't know if you just get to choose it or if there's certain ones you start with or whatever the case may be. I do see that there's certain levels for them, so that might be something as well. But anyways, I have all the cards for the warrior class over there. So I have that ready to go. And then outside of that, I think really the only other thing I wanted to talk about before we get going is the one nice thing they give you too is they give you this little character sheet so you can keep track of everything with your character. So that way, with a lot of these games, you're going to have times you're not going to be able to play straight through. I wouldn't think so anyways. So this way you can keep track of what's going on with your character. Things of that nature as well. So we have that, and it also came with this great pencil. Just kidding. I just have this with me so I can keep score stuff on the scorecard. Come on, if this was a Drunagor, you know what? They should have brought you one though. That would have been kind of cool, right? Come with like a Drunagor pencil. Maybe as an add-on for like 20 extra bucks, right? I don't know. Whatever. Anyways. So we're going to get started here. First thing I'm going to be doing is reading the prologue. It's actually a little on the long side, but this way we'll get to know the backstory of what we have going on. And then we can get started on our first adventure and see what we have going on. So, Ascension. A word coined to represent the state of mind a person's soul, a righteous one, reaches at the moment of their death. Without the ties of the body, and with a light conscience for having lived a virtuous life, the Ascended One rises into the sky and finds its place in the blanket of night, becoming one of the thousands of stars that watch over Drunagor. An eternity spent in the truest fullness. You have never considered yourself the greatest of the faithful, and you even began to doubt that the promised and desired reward was true when you learned that you had been deprived of the one person closest to you. For that loss, you have been racked with guilt, and there seems to be no remedy for that. Wandering the roads of the old continent, you arrive at a parish house near a village far from the big cities, a true sanctuary for travelers. You stood in front of its doors for over an hour, unable to go in. But there was nothing wrong with it. The problem was within you. You didn't feel worthy of stepping into a holy place, not after what you had done. And so, all that was left for you to do was to surrender to tears under a late afternoon rain, and this would not be your first time. A great scholar once told me that we are all stardust, says the priest who took care of the place, after he had found you, dragged you into the building, and listened to your story over supper. I like that, because I feel that we are always in communion, even with those who have already embraced the earth. Your dearest one's spirit may not have crossed the way of the arcana, but it may still be here, in the come and go of the seasons just like us, and I like to believe that they too are at peace. This wasn't the first time you'd heard this sermon. However, you couldn't deny it. There was a little comfort in that thought. However, it's you that I worry about, traveler, he continues. And you know that the most important thing he has to say would come next. The grief that afflicts those who remain when accompanied by guilt becomes an unbeatable force to lead someone astray. I see that you are distressed, that nothing can bring you comfort. However, this does not seem fair to you. No matter what you've done, if you fall to your knees and acknowledge your pain, it's a sign that you can still find your way. You know that you only did what you needed to be done, but that doesn't make your pain any less. A father, a sibling, a friend, a lover, being responsible for the departure of someone so close to you was not an easy thing to deal with, and there was nothing that could convince you that everything which had happened was not a great injustice, and that the world itself was to blame. The winds have changed, he continues. Even good people have become victims of despair, and no soul seems to be prepared for the strange things that have happened. More than ever, it is essential to do the right thing, to stick to the doctrine so that you can find peace. You want to ask why, if that was true, that you still feel so bad for doing the right thing. You want to ask why you still feel that something inside of you is broken, out of place, making you wonder if what you've been taught all these years was the right thing, was in fact the right thing. However, words fail you, and in the end, you just remain silent, brooding over the same thoughts you had brooded on through the last cycle of the moons. All that could be heard was the symphony of raindrops falling on the roof. Now, understanding the depth of your despair, your host does not speak another word, but neither does he leave you alone. And truth be told, that's just what you needed. Wow, there you go. That's our prologue. I got a nice little, drawing here at the bottom of the page. Those are all the people that you could play. A little bit of an interesting storyline. Don't know if that really matches up to all the backstories for the characters. Does for some others, I don't know, I guess you just have to use your imagination, I suppose. But anyways, it's pretty cool. Off to a neat little start. So that was the prologue, and then it goes into the actual campaign, and this is Chapter 1, A Cry for Help. So we'll just start off with this one. A sharp, desperate scream awakens you in the middle of the night. It's still drizzling outside, but you remain dry, having fallen asleep in front of a fireplace in one of the parish house's rooms. Taken by an impulse from whence you don't know where, you hurriedly gather your belongings and rush out the door into the woods, in search of the source of the cry, determined to lend your aid. You don't know exactly where you are, but you know it isn't far from Black River, a small town in Eland's kingdom. It was precisely by following the aforementioned river that you came to this rural settlement, cozy and hidden in the hills among dense pine forests. Suddenly, something buzzes past your ear, and you are alarmed to see an arrow thud into a tree right next to you, missing your forehead by just a few inches. You look into the woods ahead, and spy the shooter as it prostrates itself on the ground. A reassembled skeleton bearing the ensign of Amira, carrying a short bow in its hands. You cannot help but feel intrigued. This is the first time you've come across such a foe, but you certainly didn't expect to see another one now or here. After all, you believed that you had defeated the one responsible for the resurgence of such horrors. And indeed, it was the guilt you still carry from that confrontation that made you lose yourself out there in the woods. Could others also be involved? In truth, are not these creatures always under the command or judgment of some controller? Someone who has learned how to raise the dead and decided to take a kingdom for themselves? The more you reflect on these strange events, the more confusing it all seems to you. Also, why would you be thinking about all this when some dude's shooting arrows at you? Anywho, oh, well, here you go. A second arrow whizzes past you, this time grazing your arm, and you realize that these are reflections for another time. Someone needs your help. Alright, so that's the whole setup for the first one. And then at the bottom of the page, basically has some of the rules. It says, apparently there's a few that apply to like every single one of these. And this one says, darkness spawning rule, there's no darkness. There is no rune card at the start of this adventure. I know that has something to do with the darkness. Almost works, it seems like, as a kind of like a timer, where you, the longer the battle goes on, you start to have these darkness tiles that you would put on the different areas, and if you encounter it, obviously it's not good for your character. I think also if the monsters encounter it, if it goes over top of them, it actually makes them a little more powerful, if I remember correctly. I think it's one of the few things I actually remember from all the rules I read, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then underneath that it says darkness behavior, standard. So maybe there is still darkness in this. I thought there wasn't any. But anyways, the darkness will chase the strongest hero that is not already on top of darkness. If all heroes are on top of darkness, skip that spawning and all heroes take Y non-preventable damage, where Y equals the number of heroes instead. This effect is applied each time that a rune should be drawn, but a tile is not placed and is called the Crush. I have orange soda apparently back in this age. Recall action curse penalty, single. Whenever a hero takes a recall action, willingly or unwillingly, they receive one curse cube as a penalty. Well, that kind of sucks, because I think if you use too many of your tokens, then that's when you have to do that. So you automatically get a curse. That's interesting. Winning and losing the adventure. I could be totally wrong too, by the way. The adventure fails immediately when one of the following occurs. A hero is defeated by receiving more curse cubes or trauma cubes than they can hold, or the last rune in the bag is drawn. So you get a bag of runes for the darkness tiles. I think I can show it to you. I don't think I showed this before, so I guess I should real quick right now. I already have all the darkness tiles in there, but this is what the bag looks like, and then you pull out a rune, and that tells you, the type of tile that you grab. Then you put the darkness tile on the map. So, it's not a very big map. I really hope there's not a lot of darkness. Start the adventure. After you've completed the following setup, read these instructions and any other special instructions on the next page. Then you may begin to play the adventure. And then on the next page, this is what it shows you. Well, that's the picture at the bottom. A nice little cauldron with an eyeball and a random hand in there. And then it has like the setup of what you're... I suck at these angles. Of what you're supposed to be doing. So I already have that in place. I know it's upside down, but I don't know how else to show it to get it in there. So I'm up here. Since there's only one of me, I'm only going to be doing this. And then it has this set up here with the door, which I already have set up. So we're good as far as that goes. And then you have the one mob that we have. It's a rookie. So Skeleton Archer. This is the card that it looks like for them. So I already have that set up and raring to go. Um, since it's just the one and it's a rookie, they tell you to use a yellow tab. They have different types of tabs you put on the bottom. This comes off, and you just put it on there to mark the more or less the difficulty level of them. I don't really know how much of a purpose it's going to serve when it's only just me. But it definitely could see how it could come into play if you have multiple mobs, or obviously if you have multiple people playing, then you're going to have that many more mobs into play. And as there's more players, not only do you add additional mobs, but you might have mobs of different difficulty levels involved. But that's the basic setup right there. I'm going to pause this real quick just so I can read over a little bit over the rules. And actually, considering the length of this video, I'm probably going to stop this right here, which will also give me a good chance to read over a little bit of the rules so I know what's next. And then when the next video, we'll actually start playing this game. It's going to happen eventually. We're getting there. I have everything set up. No, my luck though, I'm going to have to stop here, put everything back, and then pick this up again later. I do apologize. It's been so long between videos. I just have a lot going on right now between working full time, and I'm currently enrolled in school. So it's kind of tough to find time to play these types of games. I love them. I do appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoy this, and hopefully you can enjoy when I make some more videos of it. I will say that I am supposed to be getting Frosthaven in the game in the game. I am supposed to be getting Frosthaven in the mail over the next couple days, so I'm probably going to do an unboxing video about that. I might actually have my wife do that with me, which should be kind of fun. It's kind of a struggle too, because I really want to get through a playthrough with this game, but I'm also like super excited about Frosthaven. And it'll be nice to finally get that, considering I backed the Kickstarter in 2012. Just kidding, but it's been a while. But COVID, what are you going to do? But I'm super excited that it's finally coming. But I am also super excited to play this game. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. I really want to pursue this and enjoy this, but it's going to be tough when I have Frosthaven sitting around too. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Again, this has been Wicked Jelly. I'll try and come back soon with another video. Again, I hope you like this. Feel free to comment. Understand, I don't really know what the hell I'm doing with this. I'm just trying to have some fun. I hope you're enjoying it. But, I know it's not the greatest type of videos. But I have fun doing it. Hopefully you have fun watching it. And, but if you do have any pointers or anything, or if there's anything that you can think of that you'd like to add, or if you've played this game and you have any opinions on it, or anything else for that matter, or is there any games you back that you're looking excited to having come to you soon, like Frosthaven, or, some other game, feel free to comment. Again, have a great time. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay safe, okay? Bye.